Laura and Lynn, and we have, hopefully that got recorded. This is Laura and Lynn, and we're starting our hangout today. We are going to talk about the 4 simple blogging basics for your online home business, and we have a special guest today. But before we introduce her, I want to go over, if you're on either my Facebook page or on Laura's Facebook page, you're going to see that this is a little bit different. It's a little different format. It's very cool. It's a great way to share information with your audience. And it's called 22 Social. It's a Facebook app, and you can actually get one page for free. So if you scroll down to the bottom of our page, you'll see a link down there, a couple links down there for 22 Social or Facebook, this Facebook app, or something along those lines. So go ahead and check it out because this is really cool. Google Hangouts are free, guys, so why not use it for your business? And then the other thing we want to point out is the 2 green buttons just below this video on this Facebook page if you're on our page. And go ahead and check out our team. Go check out the blog beast. We're going to be start opening things up on that here real soon. But go ahead and check those out. Maybe not right now. Maybe after after the hangout here. And if you have any questions or comments or anything like that, leave them below, and we will get to those. Unfortunately, we don't have anything. We can't open that up right now as we're going along. I'm going to figure out this question and answer that we have on the Google Hangouts, and we might have that for next week. We'll open that up. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to start. First of all, Laura, you want to?
Sure, good morning.
Folks out there?
Yeah, no, I'm just so excited. I didn't mean to be rude. I was looking down on my iPhone to see if it could do a countdown for days because the Anaheim event is coming up from Power Network. I'm wearing actually my event t-shirt this morning.
Oh, here you go.
Event. It's funny, I live in a really small town here and I wear this shirt to the grocery store and people look at me funny, but anyway. So no, I'm really excited for the event coming up, and the launch is happening Friday. What's about to roll out, and I'm really excited to have Tamyka here because I can just in the few minutes that we just got to talk, I can tell there's a lot of knowledge and information there to share. So I'm pumped to have you here, Tamyka. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm excited to be here too.
Well, we want to hear your story. Tell us a little bit about you. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get into these 4 simple blogging basics, and we're going to have you, share your expertise, and then Laura and I will, we'll share some tips and things like that as well. So this is Tamyka, everybody.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Tamyka Washington, and I'm the founder of MarketingHerWay.com. And I've been blogging online since 2007. In 2009 is when I actually learned how to start making money online with my blog after a lot of trial and error. So now I'm excited to have been able to, launch a consulting business, and I teach mostly women and mom entrepreneurs how to start their own blogs, how to use online marketing effectively to grow their businesses and build their income online. I'm a busy mom of 7, so I'm excited to be able to work from home, and my passion is to really help other women do the same. And I'm excited to be here, be able to share with you all today.
And I just want to let everybody know, congratulations to Tamyka. She just had her 7th little baby girl, right?
Yeah.
She's adorable.
Thank you.
So congrats on that, and it just proves something, folks. There's no excuses in this business. If you want to succeed, you can have a baby and make money.
Yeah. If I could just chime in on that, Lynn, I don't want to steal your thunder or anything, but I was like, I have to meet this Tamyka. Does she glow in the dark and shoot lasers from her eyes, in the words of Dave Woods? That's amazing, and it is a real great testament to, because you just got your first sale too. You've been in what? Not even a month.
Nope.
Less than a month.
That's beast mode right there. How big you got a sale, rocking. Yeah, just here on the hangout early. Wisdom, love it. So thank you.
No problem.
No, it's awesome, and that's what Empower does with folks. If you're ready to start a business, grow a business, and make things happen. Okay, so let's get into the blogging basic number 1. We're going to talk about the difference between having a self-hosted blog, a domain, or having one of those free blogs, you know, the blog spots or the wordpress.com or something like that. And, you know, there's been controversy that, you know, I've stumbled across lately about people, I can just have a free blog and, you know, do it that way. Well, there are some differences, so I want Tamyka to, you know, discuss those differences and I think being a business versus a hobby.
Mm.
Well, the big thing is if you are in business, I mean, you want to be able to have your own self-hosted domain. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I mean, when you look at big companies and brands, Walmart, you know, and Target, you don't see them on a a free-hosted site. You want people to really take you serious. You know, you want people to look at you and see that you are trying to really do something. You're trying to build a business here, and you want to be seen as professional. And, you know, and another thing is, you know, when you go with a free hosted, you know, account, there's so many limitations that you have, and a lot of people tend to want to start that way because maybe their income is limited and they might not necessarily have a marketing budget. But you really have to think down the road, and you have to think in the long run. I mean, if you're building a business online, they can literally shut you down, you know, because you don't own your content at all. So if you're doing something or you're promoting something that goes against their terms, they can literally take your site down and you'll lose everything. So when you're wanting to get started in business, you want to first take it serious. You know, it's not a hobby. You're here to make money. You're here to build a presence and build your brand. So you want to be focused on owning your own space online. And the best way to do that is to go with a self-hosted, you know, account. And that way, when you're marketing and you're advertising particular products or services, everything that you do is yours. You know, nobody can take that from you. You own that content. You own everything that's there, and nobody can take that from you. And that's what's really important, because you want to be able to build a solid presence online and something that's going to last and be there, you know, for the long haul. So just really being focused on that and seeing it as that, you know, not just something, oh, I can later on switch, you know, over. It's difficult. It's really difficult to do, and I've seen a lot of people struggle in that aspect, trying to go from a free blog and getting all their content over. They lose a lot of things. So, you know, make that small investment. I mean, when I first got started online, I literally invested less than $20, and that was to purchase a domain and to set up my hosting. And that was my main and, you know, only investment for a very long time, and I used social media to just grow and build from there. So it's definitely worth that small investment if you're really serious about building a business.
Now, I have a question for you. So I of the three of us, I'm definitely the more rookie blogger, and I know my experience was somebody was like, hey, did you know your stuff's on page 1 of Google? Like a couple times I like accidentally got my blogs ranked on page 1, which was really exciting with I think I used like one little tool somebody taught me.
Mm-hmm.
My understanding is that I was able to do that because of the authority of the platform I was using.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
can you just speak to that for a second?
Yeah, when you have the most popular platform out there right now, of course, is WordPress. You know, so a lot of people are using that, and to be honest, Google loves WordPress. You know, so when you're using a platform such as that, you know, you are an authority out there, and as long as that you're building and being consistent, you know, you're building your own authority out there. So that allows you to be able to rank better in the search engines when you're focused on, you know, sharing content around a particular topic. And the more that you do that, you know, the more that you're building credibility and rankings in the search engines. So definitely. And when you're on a shared platform, because that's what really a free hosted one is, it's harder to rank because everybody's kind of, you know, doing their own thing and using the same platform. And again, you know, it's really up to them, you know, the hosting company to decide, you know, how you're going to, you know, how they really rank your blogs and things like that. But when you have your own platform, you know, it's easier for you to do that on your own because, again, you're in control of that.
Yeah, and just a brief testimonial to that, I got direct signups from those blogs that ranked on page 1. So that was my experience with the power of that. And Lynn, what about you? You could probably speak to, I mean, as Empower Network, we have the backing of that site as an authority site, right? And our Alexa ranking and all that behind us as well to support getting that information in front of as many eyeballs as possible, right?
Yeah, that's the power behind Empower Network, is they have built their platform to be of authority level. In fact, David Wood said last night and on the Alexa ranking that Empower now is like 240 top 240 sites in the world. And I know in the United States we're like the top 85 in the United States.
I think we were 83 the other day.
Oh, really? Okay. So, and as we continue to grow, I can see Empower Network being the top 100 sites here very, very, very soon. So, yeah, it does have a lot to do with that authority. And Tamyka, you brought up WordPress, that is so true. WordPress has been around for quite some time. I mean, decades, really.
Right.
But people never really knew what to do with WordPress except, as a journal type site. But then they brought in all these plugins and apps and all these kind of things that they could add to WordPress. But what's happened on WordPress, excuse me, it's gotten so complicated that small business owners, you are paying fortune. You're paying a huge amount of money. I know I have on your site to get certain things accomplished. Even if you wanted, custom headers or custom banners and things like that, if you do not know how to do that, then what happens is you're paying, a graphics guy, or you're paying a coder, or you're paying a web person to do that for you. And so therefore that's been causing a lot of questions in small business owners. Do I really need a blog? Why do I need a blog if it's going to cost me, this kind of money? But we're not going to talk about that today because I believe a blog is your hub of your business, but that's for another day. But back to what Tamyka was saying as far as, the cost of getting a domain, your own hosted domain is so inexpensive these days. You can go to GoDaddy and get the domain for like, I don't know, $14 a year, and then you can go to a hosting company and, together, it might cost you, I don't know, $20 a month, something like that. I don't know, whatever it works out, but it's very, very affordable for any small business, because if you're a small business, then you're not a hobby. If you're a hobby, then you're not a small business. So when you're a small business owner, you have to think like an entrepreneur, you got to think like a business owner, and part of that is definitely deciding, yep, I'm all in as a business owner, so I'm going to do what it takes to come across that way and provide my credibility that way. All right, so should we move on to the next one? So we'll move on to simple blogging basics, and we're going to talk about now theme and branding. And this was interesting. We were talking a little bit before we got on live here about the branding part of it, but I want Tamyka to address, about having a theme for your blog and or branding. And I think we were going to interject about keywords or specific purpose and that kind of thing.
Well, I look at branding as, who you are online, and that's what allows you to kind of build a theme around that. For me, like, I'm a work-at-home mom, so that's who, I brand myself around that as being a work-at-home mom, and it allows me to attract and connect other work-at-home moms and women entrepreneurs. And so building your brand is all really about, allowing people to see who you are, really being genuine and authentic, and building, something that you can base your business on based on what you believe in, so that's really where your brand comes in. It's not really about your logo and your all these other aspects to it. It's about who you are and really trying to put a message out there, and allowing people to see what you stand for and what you represent. And that's what attracts people to you. And that's what's really important about branding. People kind of get it a little bit backwards, and they're, focused on, the blog colors or their website, design and things. Yeah, those things are important, but that doesn't really make up, your brand. Your brand is who you are. And nobody can take that from you or, steal that from you. So, that's really where you want to think about when it comes to your brand.
I love that. That's what I gotta say. Boy, you put words to that so well. I think that's what I've enjoyed most about this process is realizing like people are really listening to what I have to say, and what I have to say is of value, apparently, because you get feedback when you put yourself out there, and you get to really embrace kind of what it is that you're into. For me, it's horses and fitness. Lynn, I know you've got years of experience, and you share so much value in your blogs.
Well, and interesting that you mention about your, what you talk about and things like that. Well, one thing I found out about you is about the horses, and I used to race horses, and so that we made this connection. And what Tamyka brings up is very interesting, that you have to put your personality out there. That's all. That's huge. That is just a huge
Absolutely.
connector, right? We connect with each other when they see that. In fact, I wrote a blog post mentioning that I see so many profiles out there, social media profiles, and people aren't putting in their interests. Go ahead, put your interest on your blog. Blog about your interests, because then what happens is you're going to connect with those people, and this is what will brand you, like Tamyka says, to be your personality, who you are. So I really like that. You both brought that up, and then Tamyka, you mentioned about logo. Oh my gosh, there are folks out there that will not start their business until they
Right.
have a logo.
Yeah.
And it cracks me up. I was dealing with this one client. This was, about a year ago. And I was going to set up her blog and all that kind of thing. And she goes, well, I got to get my logo first. And I said, well, no, not really. You don't need your logo now. Oh, yeah, no, we can't go live. Everyone thinks that when you put your blog on today, that 10 million people are going to see it, tonight.
Right.
And it's just not true, right?
It's not.
Yeah, Tamyka.
I mean, technically, I don't even have a logo yet, so it hasn't stopped me at all. So it's not really that important.
Yeah, that's a real nugget of knowledge right there that I learned early on, is just start doing stuff before you
Yes.
know everything. Don't wait and stay stuck in learning and try to, be in that place of like, I have to have all the information before I take action and move forward. Like, I just started putting content out there without knowing what I was doing, and it's working out okay.
And then, I mentioned about theme. Theme is really important, because theme also introduces, like, okay, so as a storefront, like your blog is your storefront. So when people are zipping by, right, you want to have something that catches their eye. So you might want to, in your theme, like in your header, or maybe in your tabs, your pages and that kind of thing, you have certain keywords, right, Tamyka? Wouldn't that like catch people's eyes so they kind of know what they're getting into? Like, I really love your blog. Your blog is awesome, gal.
Thank you. I mean, yeah, that's exactly what it is. I mean, you have to think about it. We're so distracted. People, they don't spend a lot of time doing one thing at a time. So you have like literally seconds to get people to really focus and hone in on what it is. So it's like when they come to your site, you want them to be able to know immediately, okay, this is what she's about, this is what she's doing, she can help me. And you want to be able to do that. And like my site is about marketing, so as soon as somebody comes, they know I'm marketing, I help women entrepreneurs, so they know that immediately. And that's what you want your blog to be able to do. It's all about, making that theme for your audience. It's not about us, it's about them, and helping them to see that how we can help them.
I wrote about that too. It's not all about you.
It's not.
It is not all about you, right? Yeah, that is so key. I really, really love that. Laura, did you want to say anything else before we moved on to the?
No, just that I'm, geez, we're 20 minutes into it, and like, I've already got so much great content out of this, so really am enjoying it. So yeah, no, upward and onward, and ready for the
Okay, cool. I just think that they are simple. I mean, really, if you,
Sure.
you may want to replay just the first two. It's really simple blogging basics that we're talking about here, but it's really important to know that these basics are going to be important for your business. So even if you're a seasoned, online business owner or entrepreneur or whatever, sometimes it's good to get back to the basics and think about it, and then reevaluate your blog, reevaluate your site. What are you doing? How are you coming across, to your audience and things like that? So hopefully this is opening the door, for that kind of thinking. All right, so we're going to move on to the next one, which is going to be commitment and content. So, and I think we were going to even talk about, time schedule and things like that. But first, your commitment, and then your content. So, what can you talk about on that, Tamyka?
That is like the biggest one, and I see a lot of people, that's where they struggle. They have this misconception that, they can put their blog up, put one or two posts up, and then all this traffic and sales and everything's going to come in. But the commitment is what you really need, and also like what Laura was saying before, is just, you don't have to know it all. You just have to get the content out there. Focus on what your message is and what you're trying to relay to your audience, and just do it, and being committed to that. a lot of people ask me, well, how often should I blog? Of course, the more you blog, the more you have of reaching more people, you know, and getting seen in the search engines. But it's really all about being consistent for you. If you only have one day a week to blog one day a week, but be consistent with it, you know, and just really being focused on sharing valuable content, and that's what it really takes. A lot of people think, well, if I blog every day, you know, I can just put quotes there or something, you know, but you're going to lose people that way, you know, because people are like, okay, it's the same old, same old. Even there have been times where I haven't been, you know, I haven't blogged for 3 weeks, and then I would come back because I have something that's really powerful, and that just, it gets me right back into the swing of things again. So I'd rather not blog if I don't have any good, valuable content to provide people than to blog just for the sake of blogging. And so, you know, it really all depends on you, your time commitment, and, you know, what you're really trying to allow your brand to be out there and what you're trying to stand for. You know, you really have to think about it. It's not just all about putting content out there. It's really about serving your audience and always bringing your A game to the table. And commitment is definitely, definitely key.
Yeah, we know commitment is key, right, Laura?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think, Lynn, that's a theme that's come up in every hangout we've done so far. Is, you know, whatever you do, you gotta. This is not this is not a 1 month, like.
Right.
I mean, Tamyka, you're already having results, which is so exciting to hear.
Mm-hmm.
And but you know, with anything you do, if you're not willing to commit, you know, and hang in there in consistency, whether it's blogging, you know, that applies to so much in life. But if I've taken anything away from my for several months with this adventure, it's been that consistency has been what's worked, and the commitment to just hang in tough.
That is so true. The consistency, commitment, it kind of goes hand in hand. But the commitment for me means even deeper, that when you get up in the morning, if you truly want to be free, you know, from a job and all that kind of good stuff, like I wanted to be, then when you get up in the morning, that's the first thing you think about is, hey, this is great. I can do what I want to do, and you're making that commitment to yourself, but you're also making that commitment, you know, to your future and to, you know, what it is that you want to accomplish and what dreams you want to fulfill. So commitment is key, and then, like you say, Laura, the consistency, and then. Tamyka, when you brought up the fact, you know, if you don't have something good to say, don't say it.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
We're taught that when we're kids, right?
Right. And I say that often too.
So,
but it's really important to have those daily activities. I mean, you know, have a task sheet of what you're going to do each day, and really be consistent at, you know, meeting those tasks each day. And it has to be daily activities. You can't, you know, do something one day and wait a week, and, you know, you really have to build that consistency, and that's what helps people to really start to, you know, take you serious and see you as somebody who's really, you know, doing something in the industry and in the marketplace, and that helps you to build your authority as well. So just really, really commit, you know, to being consistent.
Yeah, and then and like the time schedule thing, mm-hmm. too. You know, if you're committing, you know, to, let's say, a half an hour a day for just blogging, then do it every single day. Commit a half an hour, and you know, no excuses. You know, don't say, oh, you know, my dog was sick, or
mm-hmm.
you know, something like that. You know, make room for it. It doesn't have to be the same hour every day, you know, like 10 o'clock every day, whatever. But just half an hour. I'm going to, you know, set aside a half an hour every day to, you know, towards my blog. Because what you're doing is you're feeding your business. That's what you're doing. You're feeding your business. Your blog is your virtual stage. And if you are not on stage each and every day, how can you expect an audience to even watch, number one, and an audience to even respond to you, number two? So on that time schedule, I'm sure, Tamyka, you could address that with your business.
Yes, I do quite often, because I do get a lot of people, they're like, well, how do you do it? And I really have to say, I have to manage my time, like literally from the time we wake up in the morning to the time we go to bed. And I use Google Calendar, and I use my, you know, my cell phone to keep track of everything. But I block out time for everything. If I'm going to get on Facebook, I block out time for that. You know, and you really have to have a purpose for what you're doing during those times that you block out. So if I'm, have an hour set aside to work on my blog, that's what I'm going to do. If I set aside 20 minutes to use social media for a while, I have a reason and a purpose of what I'm going to do when I go on those spaces. And you really have to really focus on managing time. That's a big, big thing to really be able to, grow your business and be consistent. It all falls into place. And, there are ways that you can, tools out there that you can use to schedule things. Sometimes I stay up late at night and I might schedule my social media posts for the next day if I know I have to, take one of the kids to the doctors or, have an event at their school. But I'll check in and still, communicate with my audience and follow up and things like that. So you really have to just find those tools that are going to help you to build your business, to, manage your time well, and really want to do it. You have to do it. Yeah, it takes a little bit of getting used to for some people, but if you really want to grow your business and you want to blog and you want to be able to live a lifestyle that, allows you more freedom, those are the things that you have to do. And I'm living proof that it can work. It can definitely work.
Remember that. Yeah, that reminds me of just bringing it back to a point that came up, I think last time we talked, Lynn, which is that, if you treat this like a hobby, it's going to pay you like a hobby.
Yeah.
And sometimes, especially, for those of us who have been in the work world for a lot of years, and there's, nothing wrong with that if that's the choice that you're making, but making that transition over, it is a different lifestyle, and you are managing yourself, and there's that piece of, if you want this thing over here and you want to be successful, you have to be okay with change. You have to be willing to accept change and doing things outside the comfort zone, because that's usually where good stuff happens, right? Is outside our comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that my planner, I was just like flipping through it, my planner is my best friend, and I'm the same way. If I don't block out and make that checklist of like, here's the daily, action items that have to happen, and I have core things. Now, if I have extra time and I can fit in something else, I do it. But if I don't do that, to be honest, and I'm a very disciplined person, I'm a long-time athlete, like it's second nature to me, but I'll find myself out in the yard, playing fetch with a dog for 45 minutes if I don't watch out. Like, it's, you have to create that structure for yourself.
And I think that's a big thing for online home business entrepreneurs and small business owners. It's that TV, having that TV on, turning that TV off, putting the kids to bed. Just kidding, Tamyka.
One at a time.
Yeah. But yeah, and it all boils back to commitment again. Are you committed to your business, to your future? All right, so let's move on then. We're gonna kind of move into the blog syndication, because now that we're committed and we have the content, right? Now we have to share our information. Like Tamyka says, it just doesn't happen, right? Just because you got a blog now doesn't mean 10 million people are going to come to it. So, Tamyka, can you talk about the blog syndication, about social sites in the list?
Absolutely. I mean, you have to put your content out there. There's no other way around it. People are not just going to come because you put it there. You have to bring people to it. You have to share it and let them know it's there. So, you have to, again, write a schedule. There's social networking sites that I participate in every single day. So those are the sites that I'm sharing, my content on. I'll share my content all throughout the day. Even if it's the same blog post, I might reword the content to attract new eyes. You have to consider different time zones, so all of those things that you have to kind of, take in as you're putting your content out there. It's not a one, shot deal. You have to be consistent with it, so it's every single day. You have to share your content on a daily basis, and there's different ways that you can do that. Of course, social media, but you want to be engaging or connect with other people, and you guys can all kind of work together to share each other's content. There's different things that you can do just to really be creative with it. I know when I started my very, very first blog, the CEO Mama blog, I was brand new out there, and so I was trying to figure out different ways that I could kind of get eyes on my site. So I decided to create the Success Driven Women in Business series. And so every week I would feature a woman entrepreneur on my blog. So as I'm doing that, of course, that woman wants to share, that interview with her audience, and so that was driving traffic for me. So just trying to be creative and think of different ways to get your content out there. Some people really like to use video. And video is a great way to share your blog posts, or attract people back to your post. You can post it on Facebook or different sites and just tell people, hey, I wrote this blog post about, XYZ, come on over, check it out, or give them a little excerpt in the video, just to, different things to attract people back to your content. And you have to do that and be consistent with that as well.
Awesome.
And that's kind of like a lead into our blog beast that is coming on Friday.
Yes.
Because I like that what you just said, Tamyka. You can have, your little cell phone, and you can
Right.
put a little video saying, hey, guess what? I just did this cool, blog post on 5 tips to whatever, groom your
Right.
horse, right? And and then you can, upload it to our platform, and that is really good because you know what? Video. I've been noticing the more videos that I do, the better response I get, the more interaction I get, and the more engagement I get. So I totally agree with you on that, on the video thing.
Yep.
Yeah, just to chime in also, again, as kind of the newer blogger of the bunch, I know when I first started, I got that concept of like you could create content all day long, but if nobody's seeing it, it's not, it's fun, it's like a diary, right? It's not
Right.
very far. So, when I heard that word at first, like you have to syndicate it, it sounded kind of a little bit intimidating and challenging and difficult, but really, I guess what I want to say about that is like once I wasn't a big learning curve. That's not really that hard to do. It's actually sort of mechanical. Once you like kind of figure out the steps to get your blog out there and syndicate it, it's really not that hard. It's just knowing kind of where to go and what style fits you best, it seems like. And yeah, Lynn, I know. I was just thinking about that the other day because I'm a huge believer in video. I think that, when people hear you and see you, they get to know you and trust you and find out who you are, and there's, again, that piece of like sharing yourself and your message, because we all, no matter who we are, we have a story, and you just never know who needs to hear that story or what piece of value that you have to bring and who it's going to touch or impact, And so right now, I've done a lot of video, but I'm so excited for that process, because right now for me, it's, come home, I put it on my computer, get it, over to YouTube, then get it in the blog, and so for me, the thought of just onto the phone it goes, into the blog it goes, I'm thrilled. I can't wait.
And the other thing I wanted to bring up too that we talked about is the difference between an SEO blog post and just a content blog post. A lot of people are getting that mixed up, and they're being stressed over the fact that I don't know if I'm doing my blog post the right way and all this kind of thing. So we want to make it real simple. SEO, if you know SEO, then you know it. If you don't know SEO, then you've got to learn it. So don't worry about that. Just write your blog post. Think of one keyword or 2 keywords, but one topic that you're going to discuss, and stick to that. And just write from your heart. Just start writing. And when you're done with that, you're going to have a valuable piece of content that the search engines will want. They will want that content. So take that content and share that with your list as well. If you're on Aweber, I know Aweber will put a link out there. You can share it on your social sites, on your Twitter, and on I can't remember what other sites they.
Facebook.
Is it Facebook? Facebook.
Yep.
So they'll put the link out there for you on the little email broadcast that you send out to your list. So it's not only going to your list, but it's going to go to your social sites as well. So there's a lot of things that you to understand about blogging, that it does not have to be SEO'd, because too many people get caught up in that, and so then therefore I think they struggle, they get frustrated, and then they stop. So just let it flow. I mean, Tamyka, your blog is such an excellent example of what you can do, and it doesn't necessarily have to be SEO'd.
Right. And I'm ranking in the search engines, and I do not focus on SEO. I focus on my audience. I know who they are, so I focus on them. I focus on the things that I know they're looking for information on, and that's what works. So it's really all about, it's more important to focus on your audience and their needs and their interests and the things that they're trying to accomplish or overcome those are the things you want to focus on, and you build your keywords around that.
Tamyka, I had a question for you about something you just said, which is building your content around what you know they're looking for. So how do you know what they're looking for?
And that's a great question. But spend some time on social media, and you'll find out. And that's really, I kind of use that as like, my playground there. You ask questions. If you have a Facebook page, your audience is there. They're following you for a reason. They're there for a reason. They see something in you that they know that you can help them with, or they see value in you. So ask them questions. And I asked a lot of questions about blogging because that's what I teach women to do. And so, they're telling me their problems. They're telling me their struggles about blogging, what it is. And I find a lot of women have an issue with the technical aspect of it. And that's kind of what just prevents them from blogging altogether. They just don't know how to set it up. So those are the things, you put those questions out there, and if you have the answers, there's your blog post right there. Oh, well, I can give you 5 tips on how to set up a blog and walk them through the process. And so, blogging really doesn't have to be that difficult. When you engage with your audience and ask those questions and just put things out there that's going to encourage, interaction and dialogue, you take that, and that's where you can turn it around and help them.
That's a really good point. Very, very, very good point, Tamyka. It is about your audience, and to find out about your audience, go where your audience is.
Right.
And so, like you say, you spend some time on those social sites. Not to the point where you're on the games and all that kind of stuff. Get into some groups. Groups are a great way to find out. So, for instance, for me, I've been in social media as well and online marketing. So I have a real estate background, so I've gotten into groups, with realtors, but also social media and marketing. So I know what's going on amongst them, especially when it comes to marketing them, as far as being a real estate agent. So you learn things. You learn things of what it is that they want and they need and that kind of thing. So that's a really good point that you brought up. So what do you have to? Anything on that, Laura, that you can?
No, I think knowing your audience, that's something I took away from the last Empower Network event, actually, was, you got to know who you're talking to. If you're just trying to broadcast out, spread your net wide, you're not going to be as, fruitful in your business. And if you really, spend the time and take the effort to understand who it is that you're speaking to and narrow that focus, it's easy. We always talk about the shiny object syndrome. And being kind of all over the place, but once you focus in and make the effort invest, again, it's that whole, if you want to take this lightly and treat it as a hobby, that's how it's going to pay you. But if you're trying to create a new life for yourself and freedom and kind of how can I say, breaking free from the matrix, all that good stuff, right? You put in the effort and you figure it out. So, and it's not actually that hard. You spoke to that really well, Tamyka. Just a matter of making the effort.
I totally agree. It's
go ahead.
I was just going to say it's really not that hard, and it's really all about taking that one thing that you need to learn and doing it, until you get to that next step, and then you do it. Just really jumping in there and doing it.
It really is a matter of just doing that first thing sometimes, and then you get to the next thing and the next thing, instead of, if you come into this new, sometimes I know it's easy to get into overwhelm and feel like there's so much to learn, but it's just, taking those little steps of action, picking that one thing that you're going to figure out today, and then tomorrow you're going to figure out the next thing, and yeah, it's exciting.
Absolutely.
Yep, take each stage as they come along, and don't think that this is a race. This isn't a race. You've got plenty of time, but just do things that are going to help your business, help the people that you want to help, and then you'll find that your success will come a lot quicker. So, like Tamyka and Laura both said, you got to just focus in. So now I'm going to dispel everything that we just said about knowing who your target market is, and that's because I want to introduce the Blog Beast that is coming on Friday. Unfortunately, if you're watching us right now, you missed out on getting in before 10 a.m. this morning Eastern Time to be a part of either the launch and or to be able to see the Blog Beast starting Friday. So you're going to have to wait until that cart opens up, and I believe it won't open up now until after the 18th of October.
Yeah.
So the reason why I mention this is because the Blog Beast is a blogging platform that's going to be for anybody. And I know that sounds weird because we're all programmed to find our target market, right? And our target audience. But the fact is, this product that's coming on board Friday is really for anybody, and it's going to be so easy and simple for folks to get on board. So we're really excited about that. We're going to be bringing more of that next week because Laura and I, we're heading out to Anaheim this Friday. We're going to be a part of the live event, and we'll be blogging on our new platform over the weekend. So we'll let everybody know about that. Hey, Tamyka, are you excited about this Blog Beast that's coming?
I am very excited. I'm very excited. I see the benefits that it has for so many, especially newbie bloggers and new entrepreneurs. This is going to be very powerful, a very powerful platform for them. So I'm really excited to be able to share this with other people.
That's awesome. How about you, Laura?
Oh, absolutely. I'm staring at my phone now, just thinking of all the blogging I'm going to do from it.
Yeah, David Wood said everyone's going to bring their phone, and I guess all at the same time we're going to, blast out whatever we're going to be blasting out. Who knows what we're going to be doing, but
Yeah. And not to interrupt, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
go ahead.
I was just, watching that footage again from Denver when they initially introduced the product and did that live run through on the stage, and I got just as excited as I did the very first time I saw it, even not being a very tech savvy person. I'm learning, but even for someone like me, like, I get it. It's powerful. It's definitely going to be a game changer. It's so exciting to be, there's something to be said about being in the right place at the right time.
I agree, and Tamyka, like you said, it's going to help a lot more people, especially from a just getting in type person that wants to get online and start a business, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Even a mother of 7 can do this, folks.
Yeah.
All right. So, any final thoughts on the 4 simple blogging basics that we mentioned today, Tamyka, that you might want to interject here?
I mean, we pretty much touched on everything, but I encourage everybody to just do it. Just get in there and do what you need to do, and just be focused on building your business. The little steps that you take is what's going to allow you to move forward in your business and help other people.
That's awesome. And Laura, what about you?
Just do it is such a simple but such a profound statement, because it really does come down to that. And I'm just really excited to get back on here actually next week, because we'll have had it in our hands, this new product, for a few days, and share and let people see, kind of what's so exciting about this new product, this new platform.
Yeah, and I agree with that as well. And just do it. Just get out there and do it. Again, we'll keep doing these hangouts for you guys and giving you as much valuable tips and techniques and strategies and all that kind of thing moving forward. But we will be bringing out, this new platform, and please click on the buttons if you want to learn more. Visit Tamyka's, blog and learn more over there as well, because all of us, we're really excited for this new platform. And I'm excited that we were able to share these 4 simple basic blogging tips with you guys today. Again, leave your comments, your questions. Let us know what other topics you'd like us to discuss, and we'd be happy to do so. So with that, thank you so much, Tamyka, for being our special guest today, and we might have you next time too. Going forward.
Thank you.
We'll just have you join our Empower Prosperity channel here.
Awesome.
So,
I had a great time. I appreciate it.
Good. Thank you so much. We appreciate you too. And of course, Laura, thank you.
I always enjoy these, so. Yeah.
I know, it's fun. It's really fun. So until then, we don't know when we're coming back next. We're going to leave that open until we go to our little event and all that kind of good stuff. So we'll let you know. Watch your emails. Watch the Facebook pages on all 3 of ours, I guess. And we will talk to you soon.